I do think that maybe some of those points can be valid. However, I don't feel like the point of people addressing Caitlyn Jenner and the ESPYs and saying the only reason they put her on here was to get ratings. Because I feel if that were the case, ABC, the ESPYs, ESPN would be shoving down our throat commercials that would have been about, Caitlyn Jenner's first public appearance and yada, yada, yada. And it wasn't that. Unless you knew Caitlyn Jenner was going to be there, you didn't know that this was going to happen.
Yes. And the things you mentioned, the three things you mentioned specifically, those things are based, especially the first one, are based on ignorance of transgender people. And just like with gay people had to go through the same kind of thing that they're going through now. I mean, where we're misunderstood. We still are, of course, but I mean, to a far greater extent in the 60s and the 70s and stuff, especially, where people didn't take us seriously, didn't understand us, or who we were, whatever. And when it comes to how long it took her to come out, who the fuck cares? Right. It's not an easy process, especially it's really not. Especially when she's older. She's older. She's much older, and she was around the 70s, and she was a famous, huge sports star, and macho, whatever. It's not easy for someone like that to let go of everything that they had and were known as, and to just switch their life over and be shunned by society, in a time where no one accepted it. Now people are accepting it more, so this was the time for him to come out, or her to come out.
Yeah, I agree, and I think one issue that's kind of been shaky that people necessarily aren't understanding is that Caitlyn Jenner and Bruce Jenner did not come out as a gay man and then decided to want to be transgendered. I keep hearing this thing where people are saying, well, if Caitlyn wanted to be Caitlyn, then, why'd she have all these children? Bruce clarified that he was a straight man, however, internally a transgendered woman. Mm-hmm. And obviously living your life 65 years as a straight man, you're going to have kids. And I think that's where people are confused, that they don't understand that this solely is not a gay issue, but it's a separate issue within the LGBT community.
Well, they don't even understand the difference between what gender is and sexual orientation is. There's two different things. And he even said to Diane Sawyer that he didn't see his sexual orientation ever changing just because he's going to be a woman. And I actually saw something saying that he was dating a woman. I don't remember who it was, or another transgender person or something. So I don't know. I mean, he was a woman. So I don't know what sexually he likes, but it's completely unimportant. I mean,
but that's not for us to really figure out. I think people are trying to figure out exactly what he's into or what he likes. It's really none of our business. So I don't understand why people, some of the people in the public are just really trying to dissect him and try to figure out exactly, what he likes, what does he not, what he does or doesn't like. It's really, people, it's none of our business.
Right, and I agree. I just wanted to clarify because I feel like that's been a little muddy for people that haven't been paying attention to this issue. Sure. So anybody listening, I just wanted to clarify. I Am Kate comes on the E Network this Sunday, so I'm excited to check that out.
Yay!
I'm going to watch that.
I am too. I'm excited to see what her journey's like. I really am. I think that they have a really hard time in society today. Hopefully she'll do okay. What about, real quick, there is a transgender reporter. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Yes, I saw it.
There's this transgender reporter who had been interviewing a Republican, or right-wing Republican. Ben Shapiro is his name. Mm-hmm. And she'd asked, he asked her, I think she...
This is, I saw this a little bit. It was on the Dr. Oz show, or Dr. Drew show, excuse me. Yeah. And they were having a debate, and obviously in these debates you have different, opinions. And basically what it turned to from the get-go was that...
You're a man.
Shapiro was saying, why are we accepting mental illness? We should be addressing the issue and, taking care of this. We shouldn't be glorifying it. And he just immediately set the tone of what the rest of the time was going to be.
Well,
and it was just picking at, honestly, in my opinion, picking and pushing buttons on everybody else. Even the person that was in his stance disagreed with how he was going about it. But the real moment where it really shook down was when Shapiro looks over to the transgender reporter Zoe Tur and says,
what are your genetics, sir?
Tell me about your genetics, sir. And obviously did that with intent and then denied that it had any malicious intent. Of course, a cowardly thing to do. So then Zoe Tur
says...
Put her arm around his neck, pinched his neck, and said, cut that out.
Right now, or you'll be going home in an ambulance.
And
wow.
Now Shapiro is saying that she has continued to threaten him, and that, basically suing for... threat, I guess. I don't know.
He's basically saying he's afraid of a transgender woman and
attacking him. Well, he needs to be careful because there's going to be a lot more people attacking him with the way he's going about it.
And transgender women wear high heel shoes, so that's going to be
right. And I'm very strong. And one of the things, and I don't know a lot about Zoe Tur, but in the segment, she does say, I've been overseas, I've traveled the world, I've been shot at, I've been stabbed. And this is a real issue. So I think in the strengths of the two, I'd say Zoe Tur is a lot more muscular than Shapiro.
Yes. But I love the fact, to me, it was a moment that showed where she was turning the tables on him, and she really took control of the situation, and she basically said, don't fuck with me. I love that. Also, you had mentioned something about the show I Am Jazz, which comes out.
This new show I kind of feel like has slid under the radar that I feel should be a bit more controversial. It's on the TLC network. It just premiered last week. I Am Jazz, starring Jazz Jennings, a 14-year-old transgendered girl that lives in the suburbs with her family. And Jazz has been featured throughout. She's been on the Oprah show. She's been on a few other shows throughout her adolescence, just because her parents have let her be openly transgendered since she was a young child, wearing girls' clothes, wearing bikinis, and they said she just kind of never went out of that phase, is what family members said. I think it's a really interesting show, especially in the light of all the drama we've had with previous TLC shows, such as The Duggars and Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. So I can feel a change in tone with TLC, and I'm not so mad at it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that things are changing in that realm. Thank God.
When does it come on?
July the 15th, I think it's, or July the. Hold on, where is it? I'll find it.
I can find it for you guys. It's the first episode has aired, so on demand it. Look it up online.
Okay.
You had said something else about Miley Cyrus and the VMAs.
Yeah, it was just announced yesterday that Miley Cyrus is going to be hosting the 2015 VMA Awards, which has lots of people, young and old, up in arms. Donovan, I'm loving to hear your opinion on Miss Miley.
Well, I don't think that she's too controversial. I mean, first of all, I love controversy.
Me too.
I love it. That's why I love Madonna so much, But I love controversy, and I like Miley Cyrus. The thing is, she has really, in my opinion, proven herself as an incredible singer, and she's really a great artist in general. And she does push people's buttons or whatever, and that's what she's supposed to do. She's an artist, so what the fuck?
But again, I think it also goes back to, if she hadn't gone through the whole Disney Channel machine, would this even be a thing, honestly? Would people care that this girl is running around in a bear onesie? No.
She was hot.
She's
Hannah
21
Montana.
years old.
Yeah, everybody still sees her as Hannah Montana or whatever.
Exactly, but what people don't see, I follow her career, I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan, what people don't see is that for the 2 years prior to, she was trying to be sexier, but nobody was buying the damn album or the single, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you got to turn it on when it's important to turn on. So I'm excited that she's hosting the award show. I think she'll bring a fun element. But as of earlier today, there's been a lot of beef between Nicki Minaj and Taylor Swift over Twitter.
I just read about that
because a lot of people feel, and Nicki Minaj including one, that black artists were snubbed this year. I've got some of the tweets up right now. I can read through them. Nicki Minaj tweeted. At 2:14 p.m. If I was a different kind, in parentheses, of artist, Anaconda would have been nominated for Best Choreo and Video of the Year as well. She was nominated for Best Female Video and Hip Hop Video, but I guess she feels because of the success of that video breaking streaming records and, all the, memes that people were making of, Marge Simpson and SpongeBob as the cover art, she feels like that's, should be nominated. She went on to write, in quotations, when other girls drop a video that breaks records and impacts culture, they get a nomination. And then she continues to write, if your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Video of the Year with a big smiley face. Alluding to, maybe she wasn't, Taylor Swift, who then responded, because Taylor Swift feels like, she's got some kahunas now, and she's been very open mouthed over the last year. She said, "I've done nothing but love and support you," which is true. Taylor Swift did kind of put Nicki Minaj on the map as far as like the white girl scene goes. And she wrote, "It's unlike you to pit women against each other. Maybe one of the men took your slot." Oh. Then she responded, You must not be reading my tweets. You didn't say a word. I didn't say a word about you, but you should speak on this." Hoping that I guess she was going to agree with, women and so on and so forth. Then Taylor Swift quickly responded, "If I win, please come up with me. You're invited on stage whenever I'm on."
I don't think that's going to happen.
No. And then she wrote, Nicki Minaj wrote, "I'm so glad you guys get to see how this stuff works. Taylor took her music off Spotify and was applauded when we launched Tidal, which was the music streaming app launched by Jay-Z and a bunch of other artists. We were dragged." My favorite part, then Kim Kardashian tweets,
"Oh, God.
I'ma let you finish, but ... So, this is only relevant because this is just Crack Today, and I think it's interesting for people to know, like, all this little pettiness that's going on. But I think it's true, it goes back to the race thing we were talking about,
Double standards.
Double standards right there. And I love Nicki Minaj. I just saw her in concert on Friday and lost my entire life.
I love Pink Print, by the way. I love that album.
Yeah, it's a great record. Yes. I love it. I know every song backwards and forwards. Awesome. And I like Taylor Swift too, but
me too.
I definitely agree. But again, I think Nicki Minaj is also one of those artists that has, as far as mainstream goes, has kind of had lulls in her career. It only works for the VMAs whenever it's, the pop stuff.
Yeah, it's true though. That Hollywood and the record industry both have a great racial bias. They always have. Mm-hmm. It's nothing new.
Right.
And she's just calling it out, and I like that she does because that's Nicki Minaj. That's what she does.
No, I do too, and I agree.
And it's
the same way. And I know they were talking about. I was reading an article earlier today. They were saying that Rihanna was nominated for Best R&B Album, and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute. Since when did Rihanna become an R&B artist? I'm like, she's always been known as a pop artist.
Pop artist. Well, in terms of MTV, she's an R&B artist.
She's not really R&B.
She's not R&B.
She's kind of reggae pop combination or something. I don't know.
But I could understand where the problem lies because real R&B singers that are mainstream within the R&B community, like K. Michelle and Tamar Braxton, I'm sure they were.
Yeah,
competing because they're not mainstream.
They're not going to compete with Rihanna. They can't in the same. Yeah, way.
But the thing is, it's going to be the radio girls that are listening to. It's young girls that watch this kind of stuff.
It's true, yeah.
It's mainstream radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they said that also Sam Smith was nominated for Best R&B Album.
And wasn't he nominated for R&B at the Grammys?
Yeah,
and the BET Awards. He wanted the BET Awards.
Yeah, that is R&B-ish.
No, I don't think his music is R&B.
You don't? I do.
No, I don't. Because he has a soulful voice. Don't get me wrong, but
if he were a black man, double standards. There you go. If he were a black man, he would be under the R&B label.
I agree.
He would. I'm sorry.
No.
Yes, he would. And also, though, I think it's unfair that they do that because just because somebody's black, sometimes they put them under R&B, which is not really fair.
Like Rihanna.
Yeah, like Rihanna. Exactly. So I think he is R&B-ish, but that's just my opinion. But you're entitled to yours too, of course. So you think he's not? You think he's more pop then?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I have yet to hear a Sam Smith song on an R&B station.
Well, that's good.
I don't think that's fair. I listen to the beat all the time, and I've heard his music on there. I've heard Stay With Me one too many times. But just to clarify, I looked it up really quick on iTunes, and Sam Smith is solidified under pop. So, the record labels categorize them as that.
I mean, that's the same thing with, Justin Timberlake. I mean, they consider him a pop artist, but he has more of an R&B feel to his songs. So that's how I feel about, Sam Smith. Sam Smith has an R&B soulful kind of feel to it, but I still consider him pop.
Well, I mean, I think ultimately it's up to the freaking music people and what they put them under. The award shows.
The same way with Adele. I feel like Adele has a an arm. Well, I'm not gonna say army, but she has more of a soul kind of voice. But she's a pop artist.
Yeah, she is. You're right.
So I mean, that's just about the. I mean, I love Sam Smith. Don't get me wrong. I love his music and everything, but I was just like, I don't really. Never considered him as an R&B artist, but okay.
Before we go, I just wanted to ask either one of you: have you been on Periscope yet?
Oh God, I haven't. I keep getting